Long time no talk, I should say. It's been a while, guys. Nah, I'm gonna keep it, short and sweet. I didn't want to come on here talking y'all head off too much. Just wanted to come in here. It's been 17 years of total draft accountability, sharing who I take, whether it be my first, quote unquote hit in Chris Johnson, Jason Jones, to all the way now to my recent draft that I'm going to share with you guys. But 16 years of full draft Titan centric accountability, and it's a celebration. So let's drink to it. And a lot of people will be like, it's been 16 years, man. It's just a draft. Where there's a lot of areas in life where you can say it's just this. A lot of people have gambling addictions. It's just gambling. A lot of people are religious. It's just church. A lot of people, you know, are makeup artists. It's just makeup. A lot of people love cars. It's just cars. So this is my arena where I um, have found a love for it and have been consistent and been accountable for years on top of years on top of years. And, it's been 16 years of it. And I got it even in the description. First thing people are going to say, 16 years, are you not a scout yet? It's been 16 years of interest that grew into love, that grew into being good enough to start a company or a profession. I know today's day and age is people cut on the camera, people learn how to type, people buy some podcast equipment, and then automatically they become this and they're in the public eye. But let's not get popularity confused with excellence. Let's just be honest, because people can garner all of this attention, but it does not mean that they're actually great at what they do. And being on a team does not equal the ultimate level of whatever. Like, yeah, if I was on a team, obviously you're closer to the action, you have more uh I guess clout, but at the end of the day, I'm more interested in trying to gain mastery, which is trying to become the best evaluator that I can become through process of hypothesis, through cause and effect, through results, and then adjusting my strategy from there. And I've been doing that for years. And obviously, I have a normal life as well. So right, so it's not like I am 100% doing this and then not seeing the result that society or the world would want, right? It is me balancing the time management of my life while putting in effort to be great at what I do on this end. So, with that being said, I wanted to give people who are in this industry, possibly, or in life, if you can find parallels of some of the quick lessons I learned. One that was on my mind this morning was, excuse me, the differences of like how analytics has come into this field and come into everything that we do, and how much it really matters at the end of the day. There's box score scouts, yes, and box score stats that assist to and allows you to come to an end result, yes. Um, and then there's analytics that a lot of people harp on and love, that kind of set things apart. And hey, I'm a person that uses everything. I use the tape, I use box score, I use analytics, but I think analytics has made a lot of evaluators a little bit lazy, because now all they do is look at a certain metric and then go back in the past and say, okay, this player had this, so I'm going to bet on this player more than likely than other players. And hey, there is an element to that. There is an art to doing that, but also you have to mix it with everything else. You have to mix it with the historical content or historical context that has happened in the past that might fit. It might fit a 6'2", 205 pounder who played at a Power Five school as opposed to fitting a 5'8" guy that's about around 195 and is a 1 year wonder. And then you have to look at how that player got it done. Did the player get it done with a sufficient enough ADOT, which is average depth of target? Was he a screen merchant? Was the 5'9" guy a screen merchant who got the same analytical grade receiving as the 6'2", 205 guy? And a lot of people might know who I'm alluding to with those two comparisons, but and I'll get to that later in other videos, but people aren't collectively putting the puzzle together these days, right? And I'm at the point, 16 years in the game, 16 plus years in the game, where I'm more focused on the end result, regardless of, like, if I'm gonna describe a player to you, I might add in that mental massaging of the stats, because but at the end of the day, what that player does in the league isn't about what he did in college. So if I say this player had 90 catches, 1,000 yards, it shows that he was able to sustain a season and catch 90 footballs. Awesome. He was able to get a 1,000 yard season. But that doesn't mean anything when he goes to the league. So even analytical grades, it doesn't really mean anything when he goes to the league. It's just me throwing in an objective data for the common fan to feel assured of the pick. At the end of the day, the end result is you want to describe how that player will succeed at the next level. You want to describe his role. You want to describe how that team may use him, because sometimes a player has a definite role imprinted in his DNA, regardless of what team selects him. So, but then you have to also be realistic about the team that selected him. So yeah, I'm more focused on the end result about a player than to describe him in a way that just makes me sound smart. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that really matters is the usage to success ratio in college. A perfect example of that, Traylon Burks, right? I think that's the most recent thing in Titans Nation, to where a player, graded high in a lot of analytical measurements, and as well as box score measurements, graded relatively high, right? And got into a situation where he was basically supposed to be the replacement of an outside receiver who could play in the slot, but mainly an outside receiver that is dominant, top 5, top 10 in the league. So the natural inclination, same body type, was to put him in that role. But if we go back and look at his usage, he was more of a big slot, a power slot, which he has not been in the NFL. He has not been used in that way. So with that being said, there you go. Usage is more important than the stats, because if you just look at the stats, you just think throw him in there and he'd be the next AJ Brown, right? That's not what happened. So that is where I'm at as far as being an evaluator. I don't have to be flashy. And that's part of maybe the reason when people ask, why haven't you done this? Why haven't you done that? I don't need the clickbait. People say maybe you don't have the personality, blah, blah, blah. Well, that once again, what am I focused on? I'm focused on mastery and the end result, accuracy. So you can be the most funny, the most charismatic person in the world, but if you're getting it wrong, that's the end all be all to me. But you might have a million followers being wrong. That's great for you, but that's not why I'm in it. So that was a quick lesson. I'm not going to make this too long, but it was a quick lesson that was on my mind. Celebrating 16 plus years of doing this. Looking forward to the next, Lord willing, 16 plus more. And because I'm getting closer to mastery, I may hit those milestones that society wants me to hit so badly. I'm really more into actually becoming good at something before I start a company in something. A lot of people aren't that great, and they get into it, they get into a company, and then they find out that this is how I gain followers, and they get stuck in that. presentation. And I don't mean to bring others into this, whatever, but I know how public perception views someone saying they've had 16 years of, accountability. The judgmental haters come out and they're talking about, oh, you should be a GM by now. Like, come on, are you where you're at in your life by the same standard? So, and this isn't something I've done 100%. A lot of y'all will go somewhere 8 to 12 hours a day. And are you the CEO of wherever you're at? You know what I mean? So, and I don't mean it to be defensive. I'm just being logical to objections. You know, I'm just being logical to the objections. Just like I gave the good game, the celebratory vibes. I also have to let people know that, hey, man, this is life. This is how it works. But thanks for tuning in. More videos to come describing the Tennessee Titans draft class. And as always, what I would have done, hence the 65% hit rate. And then a video of, we're going to try to target every draft class of every team. And then I'm going to put my full accountability on display as far as who will pan out from each team's draft class. So that should be fun. Hope all is well, and I will see you guys on the next one.